I'm Martina Joan, and in the 10th episode of Saints, we are going to see about Saint Elizabeth of Portugal. Saint Elizabeth of Portugal is a patron saint for widows and victims of adultery. She is also known as Elizabeth of Aragon. She was born into a Spanish royal family, and she has a saint in her bloodline. Saint Elizabeth of Hungary was a great aunt and her namesake. In a pious age, the piety of Saint Elizabeth stood out. She loved the Lord and all that it meant to be Catholic. She was wed to the King of Portugal at a tender age, moved to his land, and had a family with him. The holy child Elizabeth became the holy adult Elizabeth. Though she involved herself in matters of war, state, and politics, she was more concerned with her own soul, the poor, and the sick. Elizabeth had the luxury of leisure due to her wealth and noble status. She would dedicate her time to Mass, to prayer, and to her spiritual exercises. Her resources of time and money also allowed her to assist the poor, which she did generously, even to the annoyance of her husband, the king. It is easy to say that money doesn't matter when you have money. In fact, only people with money say that money is not the only thing. Likewise, money did not matter to Elizabeth, precisely because she did not lack it. She simply gave it away. And she fortified her financial generosity with her personal example of prayer, fasting, poverty, and holiness, edifying her people. She did not promote charitable giving, but lived for charity itself. After her husband died and her children had grown, she entered the convent of the Poor Clares, which she herself had founded in Coimbra. She took vows as a Third Order Franciscan, abandoned her royal status, and lived in obscurity with the other sisters. Coimbra has a long attachment with the Franciscans. It is in Coimbra that Fernando of Lisbon became a Franciscan, whom we now know as Saint Anthony of Padua. Saint Elizabeth's choice to become a lay Franciscan shows just how far and wide the influence of Saint Francis of Assisi was felt, even among the upper classes. The Queen of Portugal gave away her wealth, cared for the poor and the sick, was devoted to the sacraments, actively promoted peace in her domain and in her family, established a female Franciscan convent, and herself became a Franciscan, and all within 100 years of St. Francis's death. Elizabeth had given away all that she had, until there was nothing left to give but herself. She was a model Catholic queen. Beautifully placed in the center of a graceful arch, behind the high altar in the Franciscan convent of St. Clare in Coimbra, Portugal, is an impressive silver and glass sarcophagus. Circular windows cut into the upper portion of the finely wrought box allow the pilgrim to peer down into its contents. You see rumpled printed cloth. You struggle to discern what else you are looking at, but then you see the form of a body covered by a shroud. It is her. You are looking at a sleeping queen, Saint Elizabeth of Portugal. Only a hand protrudes from under the cloth. It is the right hand. It is visible, white, and has refused decay. It is incorrupt. If you would like to know more about saints, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. Thank you.